Hello, this is Greg Smalley with Pod 366, a weird movies and Lana Del Rey review podcast. Joined today by Giles Edwards and guest Joe Badon, who was late today because
I've never remembered time zones, and also because I was up late going to a Lana Del Rey concert with my wife, which was fun. But yeah, I didn't get to bed till like 3:30.
Okay, so we are not actually going to review how was Lana Del Rey? We won't review.
It was actually really wonderful. Yeah, it was this wonderful outdoor concert. We're really close, and yeah, she was great. She was great. I don't really listen to her, but I mean, I like her, but Tanya loves her, so it was great.
The main reason I know her is because she did a song that is a good song that incorporates quotes from our soundtrack lines from Carnival of Souls. So,
oh yeah, she's got good taste. She's got good taste in movies for sure. Yeah, she's good. I like her.
Well, as an American singer-songwriter with music noted for its cinematic quality and exploration of tragic romance, glamour, and melancholia, I would definitely say that's true.
I'm Mr. Wikipedia over here.
Okay, so yes, so that's the sort of freewheeling fun we have here on Pod 66. Before we get into the serious business of discussing physical media releases of this week, but before we do so, even more, Joe is returning. Just apropos really of nothing other than I had invited him to be on again. But we will let you, before we get started on the week's releases, let you talk about how The Wheel of Heaven is doing, because I know it's playing a bunch of different film fests and I don't know what the plans are. So why don't you fill us in on that and remind people what The Wheel of Heaven is.
Yeah, it's my third feature film. And it's playing through festivals right now. It's very, very odd little film. Let's see, it will be playing Nightmares in Columbus, Ohio in a couple weeks, and it'll be playing virtually at Film Quest. And it just played Skate or Die Film Festival. It just played Shauna Shea Film Festival. And I think we won some awards, but I still don't know what those awards are because film festival websites are screwy. But yeah, so it's good, like I'm excited about the new film. It's a meta sort of weird, like 5 or 6 different storylines, kind of all on top of each other, kind of weird shit. I think you saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it cut, I think it was the final.
Yeah. I said, because we did originally cut it as a web series. And we were going to post it like that, but then I was like, let's make it a feature film. We just basically took all those episodes and stuck them together and added fake commercials in between each episode and just made it into kind of like a Kentucky Fried Movie kind of thing, where you're just kind of changing channels, and that's the way it kind of feels. And I'm excited about it, but it's been 3 years in the making and I'm so exhausted. I'm ready for it to have a new life and people review it and people watch it. I don't even care about it anymore.
After it's finished the film festival run, do you have a plan for it after that?
I'm talking to a couple distributors. Just wait, I'm sure it'll get to somebody who won't pay me any money for it. It'll be great. Love it.
I've heard from people that Tubi actually pays well.
Nobody pays well. I mean, Tubi probably does pay well if I'm like, Velocipaster or something, but yeah. No, I've made like a couple $1,000s off all the films I've ever made, like literally a couple thousand. So it just takes my money. So
no, I've got to say that's great. I mean, most films lose money, so basically you're able to subsidize your own artwork and have a
No. What I mean, a couple thousand. Actually, no, I've not actually made money. I'm saying like I've probably made like $2,000 that's just paying myself back. Yeah, no, I've not Not any subsidizing of my life at all.
Well, you have your one art subsidizing the other, right?
That's true. Yes. My visual art does like do all that, which is amazing. I mean, really. But anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't understand, I don't think out there how tough it is for low budget filmmakers to actually show a profit.
Oh, yeah, it's almost impossible. You know, it's just like we might as well just play the lottery. For real. That's gonna be much more.
Unless you have a lot more time to kill.
That's true. Exactly. So
But having got that out of the way, I guess we have about 30 minutes to discuss some movies that maybe did make a profit, some of them.
let's do it.
Maybe not. I'm hearing, I just before we started today, I read another depressing article, predictably, about how Hollywood is abandoning physical media releases almost entirely for just streaming exclusively, which is depressing to me because I like the freedom of physical media to own something forever and not have to worry about it appearing and disappearing on a monthly basis. But anyway, so these movies all are out on physical media. There's some other stuff streaming that we won't talk about, but this first one is Sympathy for the Devil with Nic Cage, new release, very new release. Giles has seen it and will tell us about it, but before that, Joe, did you? I doubt you've seen it because it's so new, but maybe you have.
No, I've seen there's a trailer for it, and this is a remake of the Korean film, correct? Am I wrong? Sympathy for the Devil, am I wrong? No?
Giles?
No. Sorry. Well, I thought
let me try to remember.
No, just kidding. I mean, if it's just a remake, I'm not gonna watch it just because you know what I'm saying? Like the Old Boy remake. Like, why remake that damn movie? Like the original's amazing.
Well, this does allow me to slide into a point I've made unpopularly in the past with other people, in that I largely agree with you about remakes. There is a certain pointlessness to them. However, at the same time, for the most part, they're not really hurting anybody, because anyone who's seeing the remake, just the remake, is probably not going to have known about or sought out the original in the first place. And those who see the remake and then learn it's a remake may go back to the source material. So at worst, I'd say it's neutral and probably a net gain for whatever the original piece is. As for the discussion of sucking up, production time, talent, money, that's an entirely different discussion, which you can argue about virtually any movie anyway.
Right.
Remakes and reboots, it's like, unless I try to argue with these people, unless someone is physically forcing you to watch this, you don't have to, and then you don't have to care about it. Is my thought.
Very true. It's very true.
Giles, I didn't know that there was a Korean movie called Sympathy for the Devil, although yes,
I'm surprised there aren't a dozen.
But
I know it is a very simple cliche name too. So
describe the plot, Giles, and then Joe can tell us whether it's a remake. It sounds like a remake.
All right. The plot is soon-to-be father guy is on his way to the hospital, wife about to deliver. They think it's a son. Father, in the subterranean garage of the hospital, is effectively kidnapped by a gentleman in a striking red blazer with striking red hair and a number of firearms with him. We then proceed to enjoy the company of these two individuals, the striking one being played by Nicolas Cage and the sort of bland fatherly one played by Joel Kinnaman. And it's probably the cagiest Cage I've seen for some years now. And at the very least, if you like unhinged Cage kind of doing what he wants, you're going to be in for a treat, because it's about an hour and a half of that. But
that's all we really want to see anymore. Anyway,
It doesn't overstay its welcome. I was certainly never bored. Had a wonderful experience. I guess 2 months ago when it had I think its world premiere at Fantasia to a packed house, and I was like, oh, Nicolas Cage is being kind of nuts for a while, and he's got this wonderful, calm, kind of desperate counterpart. So I was like, yeah, this worked very nicely.
I'm a dumbass. I thought it was I Saw the Devil. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm a dumbass. I'm doing great this morning.
Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning for you. So yeah,
I blame Lana Del Rey right now. So
Okay, well, Giles does recommend it. Nobody else has seen it, so let's. Nicolas Cage is in a number of projects coming up. There's another one we want to see coming out. The Dream. What's it called? The Dream movie.
yes, yep. Yeah, that looks really neat.
From A24, I think, and then he's in a Western too that's coming out. I just saw the trailer last night.
Oh, that's fun.
Imagine that's coming out in November 2023. But let's go on to this next one. Oh, it's not a big picture, unfortunately, but this is Give Me Pity, which I have seen, so I'll probably end up talking about. I'm going to ask if either of you have seen it. I'm 100% sure Giles hasn't because we talked about it. Joe, did you see it or at least see the trailer?
I've seen it. I haven't finished it, but I've seen most of it, and I loved it. It actually, I totally dig that aesthetic. I felt like a similar vibe to stuff that I've done in some ways. So I was totally in for it, like the talk show kind of vibe and, just that whole special presentation kind of thing that she's doing. I loved it completely. I just need to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It is 80 whole minutes.
I know. It was so long. I have to watch it in chunks. You know what I mean? So.
So
it is true though. I will say this: my ADD is crazy, and I will have to watch movies in half an hour chunks sometimes. It's ridiculous. Anyway.
So what it is, it's a fake sort of version of a one-woman TV special from circa probably 1979 to 1981, kind of disco era. And she does a lot of a combination of sketches and musical numbers that tend to go slightly surreal as they go on. She'll read letters and blood will drip from the ceiling or something like that. And it gets darker and darker the longer it goes. So, Joe, you'll be in for a treat there. The director is Andrea Kramer, and I think
Amanda Kramer.
Amanda Kramer. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I think she's really promising. She also did recent movie. Oh gosh.
Please, baby, please.
Please, baby, please. Thank you, Giles. So Giles didn't see it. It was also a very weird movie with a similar sort of aesthetic. It's like Kenneth Anger does West Side Story, basically, is that one, and has a great performance from Andrea Riseborough. But this is Give Me Pity, also good. She is really a super talented director, and I hope we will see more from her.
Oh, I'm sure we will. That is actually Bette Midler's daughter.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Who acts in that one too, and I think was it Demi Moore's in the other film that she put out. So yeah, she's going places. I mean, obviously.
She's making it, if you will, which I heard a snip of the song in the trailer, which I'm actually familiar with that tune from it was in the opening credits for the short-lived TV series based on Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, there was a TV series for Saturday Night Fever? Oh my God.
Yeah, well, it was same premise, and right after that movie was huge, and then disco kind of just fell off the face of the earth, and so did the TV show. But.
Right. Well, so that one is one I would highly recommend people check out. It has been on video on demand for a while, now on Blu-ray. no special features were mentioned. Don't know if there are any or not, but check it out somehow. So this next one is a movie that probably a lot of people have seen. Is not, I don't think it's it's something that a lot of people who already have. So if you're interested in it, you might already have it. The difference here is it's now on the 4K UHD format. And Joe, we've been asking people as these come up, do you have a 4K UHD player?
No.
No. Almost nobody does. So
No, I do have like an all-region DVD player, and that's fine. I'm like 720 looks great to me. I don't need anything more.
well, like I say, my TV isn't big enough really to notice the difference. So
Yeah. Also, I have a love-hate relationship with this film. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the how it's like constantly flipping form and everything. I just think it's stupid as fuck. The movie is dumb, but I love the way it looks, you know, but that's about it. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. There you go.
I think just about
Not an unreasonable opinion.
I think everybody has a love-hate relationship with it, except some kids in the 90s who did acid to it and decided to kill people.
Right.
This, of course, we'll talk a little bit more about the movie, I guess, but just to go over what's on the disc. It's a 3-disc set with the UHD on one disc, Blu-ray director's cut on the other disc, some new interviews with the editor, the producer, makeup effects artist, and the cinematographer, and the theatrical cut on another Blu-ray with a bunch of recycled extra features from other editions.
Yeah, one thing I will bring up that I appreciate, because I do have a 4K UHD player that is also multi-region. However, my sound system is a Marantz amp hooked up to 2 performance speakers. So I get some of the best stereophonic sound that, civilian money can buy. However, whenever they try to cram 5.1 channels through it, that has problems of its own. So I appreciate the fact that this 4K UHD director's cut does have a stereo-only audio track as it was originally made with. So thank you, Shout.
Yeah, nice.
Well, Shout does great work, I think so. I was not aware of that. I'm no audiophile, so I'm not really a videophile either. I'm just
you just happen to watch movies.
Yeah, I'm more in it for the story than
Sure.
It's not that I don't appreciate a nicely composed image. I'm just not up on the technicalities of what makes it a nice image.
Well, I grew up, I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up on the lo-fi aesthetic, and so like I have no problem watching like shitty stuff all the time.
Oh yeah.
I remember, right. I don't think any of us do, but it's just like I actually like that aesthetic, I think, a little more. And I don't think I did for a little while when I was really making movies for a while. It was like all around like kind of like my filmmaker friends who are more like into like, oh, things have to be 4K and things like that, which I have no problem with. But I'm such a lo-fi kind of guy, like in my heart, that's just my aesthetic. I
think it works for a lot of things, and and it's less good for other things. It's basically it's to me I wouldn't even say it's worse. It's just different. I mean, I remember growing up, I had a 17-inch cathode ray TV that I felt like, wow, this, and it was mine, in my room. I was like, this is fantastic. I can't imagine it getting much better than this.
Yeah.
I used to have a black and white TV, so I like only
Zenith with a knob, 10 sets of antenna coming out of the top.
Exactly. Yes. But we haven't. I mean, I'm sort of assuming everybody knows the story of Natural Born Killers, so we're not going to go through it with 2 people going around killing people with just stylized to hell, which is sort of the point of it. It's supposed to be about how a satire about how TV glamorizes violence. But Joe gave his opinion. My opinion is similar in that I have a love-hate relationship with it. And Giles, do you have an opinion?
I've seen it few enough times, long enough ago, that I'd say I remember quite enjoying it. Certainly performances from especially Tom Sizemore and Tommy Lee Jones stand out very much in my mind, with evil cartoonish intensity behind those two. So there, I am not very easily bothered by a movie being stupid, and I'm also less easily offended by movies. So
that Rodney Dangerfield scene is incredible. That scene is,
and it's certainly a fantastic artifact, not boring.
Nope.
A bit stupid, and that can be discussed back and forth about how stupid it may or may not be overall. But it's virtually everyone we're talking to has either seen it by now or doesn't ever really plan to. So
it's definitely a weird movie because it's just a case of a talented director with way too much money, given carte blanche to do whatever he wants to do, no matter how stupid. And you rarely get stuff like that up on the screen. So it's definitely a weird movie. But speaking of stupid movies, I don't really like this movie very much. It's The Doom Generation. It has a lot of fans, though. It's a heterosexual movie by Gregg Araki for some reason, which I think is actually probably the funniest joke in the entire movie, is that Gregg Araki calls it a heterosexual movie.
This movie's kind of hard to find. Like right now that they finally put it on Blu-ray. Before that, it had been pretty hard to find, right?
It was on DVD, but it hadn't been put on Blu-ray before. I don't know how hard to find it was. I don't think.
I guess the reason I'm saying it is because I've been wanting to see this film, and the last few times I've tried to find it, I haven't been able to, for whatever reason, So I've been wanting to see it, though. I am a fan of Gregg Araki, mainly because when I started making films, people started saying, "Hey, when I put out God Inside My Ear, everybody's like, this stuff's like Gregg Araki." So I was like, "Oh, I'll check out Gregg Araki," and I was like, "Oh, this is cool stuff." But I'm not like a huge fan, but I like it. Bird, what is it? Bird with what is it? White Bird in a Snowstorm. That movie's great. If you haven't seen that one, I think that's. But anyway.
So this is a teenage nihilist movie, and it's not as weird as his later stuff. It is, more like sort of a satire of teen movies, and that's really intentionally dumb, with characters like, Dick Suck would be like you got an Asian character named Dick Suck. So the fact that every time they buy something at the store, the register rings up 666.
Right.
It's those kind of jokes.
Well, also looking at the bottom of this thing with the music, these are a lot of for certain groups, really big names. Of course, Nine Inch Nails, Porno for Pyros, but I'm very interested to see Front 242.
Yeah,
they are an interesting phenomenon. Aphex Twin is amazing. Belly,
I'm a big fan of a lot of these guys, actually.
Well, I should mention that a lot of this soundtrack overlaps somewhat with Natural Born Killer soundtrack, who also featured Nine Inch Nails, and I believe Slow Dive was also on there. And they probably came out about the same time.
Same year-ish.
Year.
Yeah. Mid-90s kind of thing.
Has any of us seen this film? Have you seen this?
Yes, I didn't like
it.
I like his next film, Nowhere, is much weirder and also a teenage nihilist movie. I didn't like it much at first, but after seeing The Doom Generation, I liked it better.
Wow, that's a glowing review,
I'm trying
right?
to think of, can that even be called a compliment?
Right.
I need to revisit it because I think I would like it more now than I did at first. I really like this movie, The Mysterious Skin, which is not a weird movie at all. It's a rather straightforward drama about.
That is a great one. I love that one. Yes. Yes. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
But yeah, I think that's like pretty close to a masterpiece. So I mean, I'm not a Gregg Araki hater. I just don't like this movie and his early movies in general. But let's see, we got another probably 12 minutes to get through 3 films, and a couple of them we don't have much to say about anyway. So let's make sure we get The Fifth Element in, which I don't know, not really a weird movie, I guess, but it overlaps enough with the taste. People are always mentioning it on the site, at least they were in the early days. So we reviewed it. More of a sci-fi epic, a lot of fun cult movie, good visuals and stuff.
Fantastic cast. I mean,
fantastic cast, a lot of memorable parts. This is just a steelbook. It's called limited edition. I believe it is a limited edition. I don't think there's anything really special on it. Another 4K UHD, so fans of that movie will be interested. What do you guys have any comments on The Fifth Element in particular?
That's fun. That's a fun film. Like nothing. It's like a breezy, fun little film. Like there's definitely cringy moments. There are moments I'm like, this is fucking stupid. But there's enough funness that it's just fun to put on the background and be like, oh, look, just for the set designs and the costumes alone, I'll watch that movie. You know,
and I always like to see Bruce Willis kind of. I mean, he's not technically playing counter to his type in this movie, but in many ways, I feel that tonally he is as a kind of just burned out, lazy, cabbie character. So I like seeing him in things like that, and like Death Becomes Her. Something a Bruce Willis where he's not hyper action man is always a pleasure for me, and and pretty much anytime I see Ian Holm is always because he's got a nice somewhere between a supporting role and cameo length thing. That
one is he?
Well, the main thing he's you may remember him as is he refers to Dallas's character as Mr. Willis.
Oh yeah,
as a mistake, and they kept it, and Bruce Willis corrected him in character saying it's Dallas, and they kept that scene as a thing in the movie. So he's like a I don't know, like a monk or cult, shady,
he is great,
shady kind of figure.
I didn't know that little. That's a nice little anecdote.
This is it's a really cute sci-fi action movie that I'm never unhappy to see it playing anywhere.
Sure. And some nice looking aliens too.
Yes.
So people obviously will be interested in that if they're fans of the movie. So the last 2 are kind of more minor. This one, however, is potentially interesting. It's just that I don't know anything about it really other than the names of some of the movies. This is from American Genre Film Archives, and they've got they often do exploitation films, and they also do movies like this that are underground, kind of more John Waters-ish. They can be shocking and transgressive, but they're more punk fueled in their aesthetics than pure exploitation. This collection is called Terminal Degeneration: The Films of John Moritsugu, and I have not seen any of them. I think they're rare, and that's why American Genre Film Archive is releasing them. I just want to go through, read the titles of the features that are on here. They're also short, so I won't bother with them. But it's My Degeneration from 1988, Hippie Porn, 1991, Terminal USA, 1993, Mod Fuck Explosion, which was suggested for us to review, but I never got around to it. Fame Horror from 1997, Scum Rock from 2002, and Pig Death Machine from
So promising titles, to be sure.
And I have seen Terminal USA.
Good, thank you. Somebody has seen it now. Joe, tell us something about it.
Yeah, Terminal USA is a fucking masterpiece.
Okay.
It's a fucking masterpiece. It's like an Asian John Waters, which is incredible. The movie, it's an Asian family, and they built the entire set inside the house. So it's like they obviously they built it in a stage somewhere. So the whole inside's a fucking stage, which is always great. And it's just this house, this family that's completely dysfunctional. And the movie's brilliant. I'm like, I can't recommend it enough. And I've tried to check out his other films, but they're real hard to find.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. It's great. I've watched some of Modfuck Explosion, I think. It was okay. Like, I kind of scared like that might be the only film that I loved by him, like once I watch his other films, but Terminal USA is brilliant. I can't recommend it enough.
I do, despite not having seen it, I do have trivia about Terminal USA.
Mm-hmm.
It is partly funded by PBS, and there is
Erectile dysfunction, EDS, or
the
public
Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Yeah.
and there is they include on the in the set the censored PBS cut of Terminal USA that would have played on PBS. So there's
it would have to be heavily censored. That movie is it's definitely rated R for sure. It's great. It's great. It's just John Waters, it's like silly, crazy. I hate to say that because if the director heard that, I'm sure you cringe whenever you like, oh, well, it's just like this director. And it's not, but it's a good, like, quick reference,
I'm sure he heard that enough that
yes. But yeah, it's great. I love his shit.
Yes. Giles, any thoughts about
I'm trying to see what the comparative run times are, because one run time says on IMDb 54 minutes, and I don't know if that's
Terminal USA short. Yeah, I think it is. It barely is a feature. It might not even be an hour.
And that's fine. I'm just trying to see what the PBS, if that's the longer one.
Right. The shorter one's like half an hour.
Oh, here we go. There's a completely uncensored 57-minute version, and then the PBS one is 54 minutes.
Oh, all right. 3 minutes. All right. Not bad. Not bad.
Well, we have about 4 minutes, and so I guess that's a recommendation. If you want to,
yes, definitely, highly recommend.
Unfortunately, you can't buy it separately, so you have to drop bucks for the whole set if you just want Terminal USA.
Although it looks like only around $45 if you act now for all whatever 6-7 titles there.
All right.
So this last one is nothing actually special. I just saw it pop up in the new releases. It's the 2-film collection of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I like that title though.
The Tim Burton awful remake, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Maybe you guys like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The only special thing about it is that these two discs are together. I think that they've been released together before. So I don't think there's anything really special about this, but it is a Willy Wonka version, at least, is a classic that we have canonized as one of the weirdest movies of all time.
That movie is fucking brilliant. But that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is just a turd. I mean, just a turd. And of course, they're gonna make a 2-film collection. Like, yeah, I guess it's 2. Anything more than one is a collection, I guess. But
I have the Timothy Dalton Bond collection. I'll have you know.
Is that a 1 movie or 2 movie? Did he do 2? Well, they're gonna do a 3 one now that the Timothy Chalamet or what?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to mention. That's probably why they're releasing this right now, is in advance of the new Willy Wonka coming out, which I saw the trailer for, and I like Timothy Chalamet, or however you pronounce his name, but he was just awful in the trailer.
It did not look promising.
Trying to be Gene Wilder, looking more like Johnny Depp. It just wasn't working. Gene Wilder owns the role so much that it's just impossible for anybody else to come in behind him and try to play Willy Wonka.
I know. It's like, why are they like the whole thing about remakes? This movie just should not be remade. There's so many other things you could do. Why do this one? Over and over. It's crazy. But
especially when there's so much other Roald Dahl that I think would do well to explore, which I guess is one piece of thing that comes to mind. Wes Anderson's 4 short films based on Roald Dahl short stories, I believe, hit Netflix sometime this past week or so for Netflix subscribers.
That is correct.
Oh, did it already release?
I think so.
Yeah. Nice. I got to watch that.
They're releasing one a day, and the first one, the Henry Sugar one, released on Wednesday. We're recording this on Thursday, so they're releasing another one, and then Friday and Saturday they'll release the last 2. And that's how that's going to go.
Yeah, I can definitely, I'd say Wes Anderson, I can see him being a good director for at least a number of Roald Dahl things. I would want someone darker for a few of the stories I remember enjoying in my younger days. But yeah, so
I'd like to see Wes Anderson go dark. Actually, that would be.
Oh gosh, a dark Wes Anderson would be. Yep. Oh yeah, I was talking with someone about movies, and I'd love to see Wes Anderson do an Eli Roth style movie, but in Anderson style. So Wes Anderson's Hostel kind of thing would be probably genius.
Would love that. He's been promising a horror movie, so hopefully we'll get one.
I wouldn't imagine it would be torture porn, but
we got his sci-fi with Asteroid City, so we'll see.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps us up, and we are running out of time. I believe we have a minute left if anybody wants to say anything real quick.
Rest in peace, Michael Gambon.
Oh, yeah.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wes Anderson and dark movies in the past, so that's a unfortunate.
He was neither the cook, the thief.
He was the thief.
Or his lover.
He was originally cast as the cook, actually, but fortunately that decision was changed.
Rest in peace. Yes. But thank you for having me on, guys. Really.
Sure. Thank you for coming back.
Always wonderful. Sorry for being a little late.
No problem. Okay, well, that was fun. We are going to log off, and we'll see you next week. I don't have a guest lined up, so we're just gonna.
Looks like Joe's on the hook again. So
always happy to be back whenever.
All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.